From the Toronto Star, Toronto area new home sales just tanked to their worst year on record. The situation is absolutely dire, according to the Building Industry and Land Development Association, noting the consequences are rippling through Ontario's economy, which relies heavily on home building for employment, future housing supply, and economic growth. They are saying 100,000 jobs are at risk. From Frank Leo and Associates, sponsor of the show, as you know. Frank Leo, good morning.
Good morning, Jerry. How are you today?
I'm well. Good to have you along. So do you think you would go so far as to say that in 2025 home sales tanked?
Well, these are facts. I mean, in 45 years since they had the data, it was the lowest amount of sales. It's ridiculous. And we have a much larger population than we had 45 years ago.
Well, I think that's important to point out. They are not saying fewer home sales per 100,000 population or something. We have a much larger population. We have more homes, despite we're not building fast enough, but we have more homes. And yet, in the midst of all of that, the actual number of sales was the lowest in 45 years.
Crazy. Yeah, no, it's definitely of concern. And I think that is a product of making real estate an investment instead of homes. You know, it's not a place we need to live in, but everyone was thinking about it as a place to put their money, including governments who use it as a revenue source.
What do you mean? Government purchases property, or you mean the taxes?
Well, I mean that not only the taxes, but the development fees, the HST, you know, there's a lot of costs on building, and because of that, the government needs that money to pay their expenses. Well, real estate now has gotten so expensive and that it made it very difficult for the average person to buy a property, and now we're feeling the impact.
Okay, now when they say in this article 100,000 jobs are at risk, are those construction jobs? Is that what they're talking about?
Their construction and related jobs, absolutely. And that's, you know, considering our Ontario economy was based on two fundamental industries. One was construction, the other one was the auto industry. This is not good news.
Okay, so you and I have talked before about the number of cranes in the sky. It's kind of a metric that people use. More cranes in the sky in Toronto than in Los Angeles, and it's because we needed to catch up, etc. Now I'm told, Frank, that, yeah, there's cranes in the sky. Nobody's operating them.
Yeah, we don't have that wonderful advantage now of all the cranes because we had all this building. As a matter of fact, I mean, when that was happening in 2020, 2021, now they're supposed to be closing, and a lot of the people who bought back then are not even closing on their transactions because they can. So we're seeing a lot of pain out there in the new home, that of the ones that already were built, they're not even closing.
Is there going to be a shift in the market? You talked about people seeing real estate as an investment and not as a place to live. And I think there were developers who said, hey, here's what we can do. We can build a big building of 300 square foot condos, and people will buy them because they don't intend to live in them. They think they can flip them and then sell them to somebody else that will live in them. Do you think that market is going to disappear?
It already has. And yes, the point is that people weren't thinking about buying the real estate to live in. They were thinking about flipping it and making a profit on it. And so therefore, when that didn't work out, nobody wants to live in that space because it wasn't built for living.
All right, Frank Leo is with us, so Frank Leo and Associates. The headline is Toronto real estate, 100,000 jobs at risk as new home sales drop to lowest level in 45 years. When we're talking about the economy and things are bad on one side of the equation, they're sometimes good for somebody else. Like, is this becoming a better situation for buyers and maybe especially first-time buyers?
Absolutely. It hasn't been this good in a long time for buyers to get into the market to live in a property. You know, the speculation is what really hurt us. And not only in the new homes, but even in the resale. The resales were 25-year lows in terms of number of homes sold in the resale. So, I mean, this is not just one dimensional. It's across the board. So we have to really understand that, you know, the economy is the big issue, and all the factors that relate to jobs are going to be paramount going forward.
All right. So it may be that it's better for buyers, but has actual price gone down, or is just a slowing of the increase in prices?
No, prices have come down as well. You know, last year we had a decrease in price of 5.1%. You know, that's across the board, and it depending on what kind of property you have and where you live. But I mean, prices are going down because when demand is down, then of course prices will follow.
All right. So I just banged my head against the microphone, but
Oh boy.
it's okay, Frank. I'm all right. Frank Leo is with me as we talk about the current situation in real estate. But yeah, maybe prices have slowed, maybe prices have gone down, but it's still not cheap to buy in Toronto.
No, and we're a world-class city, and the reality is this is not going to last forever because we have a growing population and we don't have enough properties that are being built, and we need them. So this is an aberration, but it's just a testament to not real estate, but the economy and the strength of people's confidence in their jobs moving forward is not very good.
All right. So the other thing that's happening here, when I asked you about the jobs, I believe that the current situation is also driving a bunch of people out of your profession, that a bunch of people are just not renewing their real estate license.
Yes, it's a tough business that we're in, and there's a lot of people that were in it maybe for the wrong reasons. They thought it was easy, and so basically they realized it wasn't, and there was fees that were due at the end of the year, and people have just said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I mean, we were looking at the most recent stats, and they're very scary. I was surprised that 52.6% of agents sold zero properties last year, not a one. Crazy.
Okay, but are some of those people who aren't counting on it for a living, like maybe they're at or near retirement and somebody is actually the breadwinner and somebody else has a real estate license because they just think it's nice to have, and if they get to go dress up nice and go show some houses, they enjoy doing that?
I'm sure that there's that element of it, but there's people out there who are trying to make a go of it and unfortunately have not been able to as well. Real estate is a very important part of our lives financially, and you want the best possible advice. I mean, when you have, 88% of the agents out there selling, at most, like, one home every quarter, you have to be careful as to say, well, is this the person who can help me make the right decisions for my family moving forward? So in such a big investment.
Yeah. Well, there will always be people in the profession, of course, but you also have the organizations like yours, I guess, flooded with a bunch of real estate agents who are available because of the implosion of iPro, right?
Well, there's a lot of people out there who, companies are actually hurting as well because their structure was not, on a solid foundation, and people are having problems making ends meet. I mean, the sales that were down are meaning that less revenue for real estate companies in general. So that's what's one company that felt the impact and had to close down. We don't like to see that, but it's not affecting only the construction industry that we're talking about in building. It's affecting the whole economy. I think this is an economic issue, not just to one sector.
I was thinking maybe you and I could do like a regular segment. We'll call it What the Frank.
That'd be great, Jerry. I'd love that.
Frank Leo and Associates Remax. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Jerry. Have a great day.